Freedom of speech is a solid principle of our American democracy, and even hate speech is protected under the First Amendment. But a Buffalo woman found herself charged for a Facebook post, and people are defending their decision to arrest her for what she said.
Now, in a story that could probably benefit everyone out there, our Dave McKinley is digging deeper into the difference between sounding off and on social media and saying something which can actually get you arrested.
There's a very delicate balance between freedom of speech and speech that becomes threatening, harassing, alarming, and annoying.
And police say 40-year-old Rosalind Collingan crossed it with a Facebook post which appeared to violate a state law on making a terroristic threat, defined as acting with the intent to intimidate or coerce a civilian population or even the government by means of murder, assassination, or kidnapping.
A series of posts threatening to come to the Pride event here at Canal Side and murder people. The posts were very explicit. They had threatened to shoot the event up, as well as bring a series of knives and commit some other heinous acts.
Well, it is enough to get you charged.
And that's coming from one of the nation's preeminent First Amendment attorneys.
Whether or not it's enough to prove a violation of the statute beyond a reasonable doubt is another story.
In part because the statute also requires that the defendant causes a reasonable expectation or fear of the imminent commission of such offense. Ronaldo declined to be entirely specific as to what led the cops to that conclusion, other than to say these days you can't be too careful.
As we've seen, unfortunately, around the country, there's always these warning signs that pop up, and you hear a lot of times about after one of these horrific events, people say, well, he had done this in the past, and law enforcement didn't respond.
And even though Ronaldo said Collingan didn't have any knives or guns, that doesn't matter under the statute, which states it shall be no defense that the defendant did not have the intent or capability of carrying out the threat.
The fact you posted the threat is what gets you in trouble.
And the intent of the statute is to not let people inflict terror, if you will.
But you can't just say I was just goofing around, right? That won't get you from getting arrested.
That is not going to stop you from getting arrested, and especially we want to stress, especially to parents and school-age children, when these threats are posted, there's serious penalties, and it can have serious consequences later on in life with a criminal history for doing this.
The charges against Collingan are quite serious. They are considered a violent D felony punishable by up to 2 to 7 years in prison. She remains held on $100,000 bail. Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.